I tested out how to preserve leaves in glycerin for printing on the gel plate, and the results were absolutely amazing. Many of the leaves came out just like the real thing. Take this one. This is a eucalyptus leaf, and normally they're very thick and leathery, and particularly once they've been off the tree for a while, they dry and go crispy, and they're really difficult to print with. But soak your leaves for a week using the method I'm going to show you, and they come out beautiful, just like the real thing and ready for printing. Take a look at this. Focus. There we go. This is a print I made on the gel plate using those exact leaves I just showed you, and the print looks amazing. It is every bit as good as printing with a fresh leaf picked straight from the tree. And here is another thing I discovered. I found you could go from this to this. This is those same leaves. These leaves have only been soaking in the glycerin solution for 24 hours, and already they are soft enough to print with. And look at them. And the other fantastic thing is, once the glycerin is fully soaked into the leaf, well, they'll last forever, and you can use them again and again for printing. Keep watching and I'll show you the preservation technique, and then I'll do some printing with the leaves, and we can compare them to fresh leaves and see which one you think has come out best. My name is Amber from Amber Benison Art. If you're interested in gel printing or mixed media, collage, then hit that subscribe button and follow along on my journey. In the meantime, let's get on with the preserving. Yeah, look, definitely overdid it. I've got to fit all that in there. Okay, so the mix that we require, it's 1 part of glycerin to 2 parts of water. I'm going to put it in this basin here and see how many leaves I can fit in. So this is 200 ml. So I want to add in 400 ml of water. It is still warm, so I feel like it would be a good idea to wait for it to cool down a bit. Okay, so that's pretty cool now. Let's just start putting things in, I think. Oh, I don't want to try a bit of this. That's already dead. Right, I'm going to put a bit in. Can't dye anymore because it's already dead. See what happens when you put leaves that are already dry in there. Right, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to put this on top, which was supposed to hold them under the water. But as there isn't quite enough in there, semi-submerges it, and I'll buy some more glycerin and top it up. So now I need to leave this at least 3 days, maybe longer, and I'll report back when it's done. So I went and bought myself a nice big container of glycerin, and actually was so much better value buying it in a litre container as opposed to that little 200 ml one. In fact, this one cost me about the same price as the other one. So I mixed up some more solution at a ratio of 2 to 1 so I could top up that bowl with my leaves in, and I left it for about a week and a half in the end. I'm just taking these leaves out of the bath now and giving them a rinse in the sink and letting them drain. The thicker leaves seem to feel pretty pliable, and they've kept their shape. It'll be interesting to see what happens when they dry out. Thinner leaves, like this was off the Peruvian lily, it's gone sort of transparent and really flimsy. So we'll see what happens to those when they dry out. So I'm just putting the leaves onto a bit of kitchen roll, blotting off the moisture, and then I'm going to lay them on this tray to fully dry. Now I've got to show you these ferns. I'm really excited about them. They came out absolutely amazing. The best one is this rabbit's foot fern. So this is the fresh rabbit's foot fern, but this is the one that's preserved. Look at it. Oh, I've already printed with it. It's almost better than the real thing. It's lost a bit of its vibrant colour, but wow, it just feels like, kind of feels like a plastic plant. Feels amazing, really soft, really flexible, and very similar to the real thing. This is another one that's just amazing. This has been out for a couple of weeks now. The leaves feel soft and flexible, and that's the real thing. This is the preserved one. Really, barely any difference. Also this fern here, look at that. Yeah, it's lost its colour, but the leaves feel exactly like these leaves feel. Really amazing. And this is a Boston fern, so that preserved very similar. All the colour leached out, unfortunately, but it's in great condition. And this one didn't do quite so well. It was great when it came out of the glycerin, but over the last couple of weeks it seems to have shriveled up just a little bit. It was already dead at the top. So I think it'll still give an interesting print, but I don't know, maybe if I'd left that in the glycerin a bit longer, it might have stayed more like that one. I don't know why this one shriveled and that one didn't, to be perfectly honest. But we'll have a go at printing with those and see how they look. There we go, look, it worked. Nice clean gel plate, all the image came off. And pretty cool print. So the outside two were the real ones, fresh ones. I keep saying real, they're all real. These are fresh, and the inner ones were preserved. So what do we like? I really like that preserved one there. This is interesting with all its sort of curly patterns. Those two came out slightly different. Either ways, print I'm happy with. Look, I have so many leaves that I tested in the glycerin. These have all been out maybe a couple of weeks now, and they're in just as good condition as when I first pulled them out. So I can't print with all these, otherwise this is going to be a feature-length movie, not just a short YouTube tutorial. So probably what I'll do is I'll go through and print with some of these individually and make a separate video. So if you're interested in seeing that, do subscribe to my channel and you'll see them as I bring them out. But just to show you, this is a lemon tree leaf. Came out beautiful, got great veining on the back. This is a hibiscus or hibiscus, depending on where you are in the world. And what's good about this is it's got a bit softer, so they sit flatter. So I actually think they're going to be easier to print with than the fresh leaf, because sometimes the fresh leaf is difficult to get good contact on the plate with, and that might be an advantage. This is ornamental plum, flowering plum. These went quite soft, but they've still got plenty enough structure to put down on the plate, and I can see they're veining very proud on the back, so I'm going to get great prints from those. This is begonia. It's kept its shape really well. Some good veining on the back. This is a nice one, Fatsia japonica. I have actually had a go at printing with this. It's quite floppy, but still not too floppy to handle. There's a different type of hibiscus. There's a ficus there, weeping fig. Again, look at the flexibility that it gives the leaves. That's more flexible when you pick them fresh. This is a lime tree, really nice. This one is lily pilly, again beautifully preserved. And this is a begonia. It has gone very soft and floppy. I haven't tried printing it with it yet, but I can see the veins, so I think it's going to work. A little softer than I might have liked. The majority of the leaves have come out brilliantly for printing, I have to say. And so here's the really useful thing that I accidentally discovered whilst I was doing this technique. So do you remember when I was popping the plants into the glycerin bath that I had a dead piece of this, and I said, oh, wonder what happened if I shove this in? Well, this plant I collected off the neighbour's verge, and it was just like this, it was dead. So the leaves just really brittle. It's a bottle brush, so normally you've got like red flowers coming out of this structure at the top here, and yeah, it's stiff, brittle, unflexible. So that one I stuck in the bath came out like this. So you can see now these leaves are all flexible. This has got flexibility to it. I haven't tried printing with it yet, but I'm sure it's going to make a really good print. So that's much more usable now it's been soaking in the glycerin compared to those. So when that happened, I thought, oh, I wonder what other leaves that might work with. So I went out and collected some dead leaves. These are from my avocado plant. And obviously I couldn't print with those. If you tried to push them down, they'd just break. And these are from underneath my lemon tree. You can print with them. So I popped some of these leaves into the glycerin bath, and I left them in there 3 days now. They probably need longer. But look how they've come out. This is from the ornamental plum. Oh, that's one of the dried ones. And this is one of those dried ones once it's soaked. So I think that's an avocado leaf. I can now print with that. That was literally one of these dried up things. And I think it really comes into its own for the Australian, for a lot of the Australian plants that tend to be thick and leathery and sometimes difficult to print with. This is now so soft. Similarly, this fern was one I totally dried out and then I put in the bath, and it's just come back to flexibility. I had this, which I'd pressed by the old-fashioned method between books, and it's from my pine tree outside, but really, really bad. Just can't print with it. It just just breaks up and leaves little bits. So I put some of that in the glycerin bath, and look, now it doesn't. That's literally a piece I broke off there, and now that's all soft and holds together, and I can print with it. Okay, so let's see if we can get a good print of this rejuvenated eucalyptus branch. And then a pretty cool print. Great definition on these leaves. These eucalyptus leaves definitely print better after they've been soaked in the glycerin as opposed to using them fresh or using them after they've been pressed, because they're normally quite stiff, so they're really difficult to get a good clean press into the gel plate. Whereas here, as you can see, they've pressed in really nicely and given a very good impression. And the same with this, that's normally bulky and difficult. It was still a bit tricky, to be honest, to get it pushed into the gel plate, but it has got great definition on those flower buds. I'm happy with that. And really happy that I've discovered this glycerin preservation method. I think it's awesome. So in my next video, I'm going to show you some other preservation methods I've tested out by drying the leaves instead of preserving them in glycerin. I'll show you two instant drying methods, one using the microwave and one using the iron. Well, who knew you could do that? And I'm going to print leaves side by side so you can see how one method compares to the other, and we'll answer that very important question: is one preservation technique far superior than all the others? So I've got to say, I was really surprised at how well those glycerin preserved leaves came out and how good they were for printing. I just tried the method, to be honest, through curiosity. But yeah, they came out much better than I expected. And it's going to be really interesting comparing them to the microwave preserve method and the ironing method. I'm really fascinated to know which one comes out best. If you'd like to see some full-length tutorials showing how I made some of those leaf prints that I showed today, then please drop a comment down below and I'll get some of those made up. I will do a tutorial for this one. It's a combination of a glycerin preserved leaf and reverse painting. I thought it came out quite fun. In the meantime, if you'd like to delve into some of my other gel printing tutorials, then have a look at the links here. You can also subscribe to my channel here or sign up to my newsletter to keep in touch. Finally, I have a link down below to a freebie that you're welcome to download. It covers the ins and outs of all the papers I love to use for gel printing and collage. Hope to see you at my next video. Bye!